in what it seems to be the fake news cycle of the New York Times and the Washington Post, has finally realized it's time to report the real news. And even though the Washington Post is fake news, you gotta admit, we all have to admit, that another big media personality, considering that Al Franken was, a Saturday Night Live writer and he was an actor on Saturday Night Live, is now accused of sexual assault. If the New York Times can take down Harvey Weinstein, the Washington Post can take down PBS and CBS anchor Charle Rose. 8 women said that he sexually harassed them, with, of course, innuendos, which they're too politically correct to even say that word, groping, and very inappropriate phone calls. Alright, here it is. Because again, remember, it was a letter about Harvey Weinstein to the New York Times. Now, it's 8 women coming forward to the Washington Post. Charle Rose made unwanted sexual advances towards the woman, including lewd phone calls, walking around naked in their presence, or groping their boobs. Of course, genital areas, which we are not going to say the V word on this YouTube channel because apparently I'm allowed to get away with saying boobs, but I can't say the V word. Well, apparently you can get away with saying penis on here. I forgot. Right, stupid me. But anyhow, back on topic. The women were employees or inspired to work for Charle Rose at the Charle Rose PBS show from the late 1990s to as early as recently as 2011. They ranged in age from the 27 to 37 at the time of the alleged encounters. Rose, who is now 75 years old, whose show still currently airs on PBS and shockingly on Mike Bloomberg's TV network, also co-hosts CBS This Morning, and is also a contributing correspondent for 60 Minutes. Well, I have seen him getting his 60 Minutes where he says, "I'm Charle Rose," which makes me want to throw up every time I see him now, but now it's going to make me throw up even more. Okay. Let's see. 3 of 8 women spoke on the record. 5 of the women spoke on the condition of anonymity out of the fear of Rose's statue in the, of course, industry. And, of course, how he is bigger power over them. Here's a quote from Charle Rose, and I'm going to highlight it. Make sure I get this highlighted. Okay, here we go. In my 45 years of journalism, I have prided myself on being an advocate for the careers of the women whom I have worked with, Rose said in a statement provided to the Washington Post. Nevertheless, in the past few days, claims have been made about my behavior towards some former female colleagues. It is essential that these women know that I hear them and I deeply apologize for my inappropriate behavior. I am greatly embarrassed. I have behaved insensitively at times, and I accept responsibility for that, though I do not believe that all of these allegations are accurate. Let me highlight this, folks. Let me highlight this, because this is what Harvey Weinstein did. I do not believe that all of these allegations are accurate. Read that in the blueprint, everyone. My goodness. He was also quoted at the end saying, "I have learned a great deal of the result of these events, and I hope others will too. All of us, including me, are coming to a newer and deeper recognition of the pain caused by the conduct in the past, and have come to profound a new respect for the woman and their lives." And of course, within hours of this breaking today, by the Washington Post, PBS and Mike Bloomberg's television network immediately suspended distribution of the Charle Rose show. And thank goodness they have, because every time you see PBS, you just want to think to yourself, why the hell is this liberal communist on the air still? And of course, CBS announced that they suspended Rose indefinitely immediately. So if you're putting on CBS, because I should be uploading this tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon, but because I'm recording this on 20th. But if you're not seeing Charle Rose, then my video will give you a reason why. And of course, they have a relatable story here, which we're not going to read about, because what's the whole point of this? They're just going to bring up the same summary from this article. Alright, so let's continue reading. One of the victims, named Maria Bravo, was an intern and then associate producer for Rose's PBS show beginning in 2007. In interviews, she described unwanted sexual advances while working for Rose at his private waterfront estate in Bellport, New York, and while traveling with him in cars in a hotel suite and on a private plane. Ugh. Why in the world would the Washington Post add this photo? It's bad enough that they add this video to the article, which again, this is only a reaction video to this article, which I am entitled to have a reaction video to this article. So if you guys think I'm not allowed to react and put this on YouTube, you guys are crazy. Alright. Let's go back to where we were. It has taken 10 years and a fierce moment of cultural reckoning for me to understand these moments for what they were, she told the Washington Post. He was a sexual predator, and I was his victim. Ooh, this is interesting. One of Charle Rose's assistants, named Kyle Ryan, recalled at least a dozen instances where Rose walked nude in front of her while she worked in one of his New York City homes. Am I reading this right? Oh, okay, yeah, I forgot. Kyle can also be a nickname for Kylie. Oh, boy. He also then reportedly called the then 21-year-old late night or early in the morning to describe his fantasies of her swimming naked in the Bellport pool as he watched from his bedroom. And then she went to Yvette Vega, Rose's longtime executive producer, about this claim. Ay, ay, ay. And Vega was quoted saying that I should have stood up for them. I failed this crushing. I deeply regret not helping them. Oh, so let me get this straight. You mean to tell me that these claims could have been made back in the late 2000s, and all of a sudden you decide to hide it, and then these women have to come forward to a fake news outlet like the Washington Post, which, again, maybe this is real news, because remember what the New York Times did to Harvey Weinstein. Just remember, folks, this could possibly be real news that, again, the news cycle keeps fascinating about. Godfrey Ryan said then that when Rose learned she had confided to a mutual friend about the conduct, Mr. Rose fired her indefinitely. Megan Credit worked as a coordinator on the show from 2005 to 2006, overlapping with Kyle Ryan. It was quite early in working that he put his hand on my mid-thigh, said Credit, who agreed to be interviewed on the record to support other women who were coming forward with what she deemed to be more serious claims concerning Charle Rose. She said during the incident, Rose was driving his Mini Cooper in Manhattan while she was sitting in the passenger seat. And this is what the media, the mainstream media, is reading from the Washington Post, that they take this highlight from the article. Let's continue reading. I don't think I said anything, she said. I tensed up. I didn't move his hand off, but I pulled my legs to the other side of the car. I tried not to get into a car with him ever again. And then this quote the media loves to keep reading. I think he was testing me out. Her then boyfriend confirmed to the Washington Post that he told the story at the time. In addition to the 8 women who said they have been harassed or sexually assaulted, the Washington Post also spoke to 24 former employees who spoke on the condition of anonymity. 6 said they saw what they considered to be harassment. 8 said they were uncomfortable with Rose's treatment of female employees. And 10 said they did not see or hear anything concerning. Ay, ay, ay. This is just... I can't even continue to read this. I mean, you keep looking down. You keep wondering, well... how much more can I read of this? How much more can I read of this? How much more do I have to hear about this? Because this is how I'm going to end the video, because I'm just highlighting the main point. If you all want to read this article on yourselves, feel free to do so. But I think I've given the main highlight of this article. And if I have to read it again on spam, then so be it. Because at this point, this is the new norm now. We're going to keep talking about new predators out there. It could be media personalities, news anchors like Charle Rose. It could be more producers and directors. Hell, it could even be actors. Sylvester Stallone was even accused recently. So again, this is the new normal. And believe me, as I said earlier, if you liberals keep doing this, if you think you're bigger power than these women, and I'm sorry, but I am going to keep reading this info and spreading it out.